for some clowns, folks.
Clowns. Take one. Okay.
Where's your clown nose?
I don't have one. Of
I,
all the
I,
props, I don't have.
I'm shocked.
I have a lot of props, but I don't have a clown nose.
Do you hear this, people? Vin needs a clown nose. No,
Vin does not need a clown nose.
I don't want a clown nose either. Um, Actually, for our thumbnail, I should send you a quite amazing picture of me in college as a clown. That would be.
Do it. Do it.
All right. First of all, welcome everybody.
Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Vinny. All right, we've all greeted. Now I'm going to tell you how we decided to do clowns. First of all, we've had a couple of like real zany cases. The past, actually, the past three have been pretty. I mean, Johnny Gosh was harsh in a different way, and then abducted in plain sight, and then the crash. So we were kind of thinking about what we wanted to do next, and we had one of our subscribers, Deanna, had sent a message, and I had sent us an email, and I was like, this is interesting. So I'm going to read you the email, and then you will get an idea of what we are going to talk about, because
Did she say you could use her name?
she did say my name is Deanna. So, and
Okay.
don't be mad. All right. So this is titled Clowns, Candy, and Chaos, The Clown Panic of 1981. Great start. Great start. Okay. Hi, Kathy and Demon. You're Demon. Um, I grew up in the town of Chelsea, Massachusetts, which is right on the outskirts of Boston. In May of 1991, I was 7 going on 8 and remembered it very well the day that my school called all the students and teachers to the gym for a conference. We were given notes for our parents and told we were being dismissed early because of an incident, and our parents were picking us up. I remember thinking, wow, something pretty important is going on. We don't get out early very often. That is true. We didn't back then. Then they started telling us about stranger danger and told us not to walk home alone. There is safety in numbers, and if anyone approaches us, anyone approaches us that we do not know, especially dressed like a clown, or offers us candy, to run screaming, basically. When my mom came to pick me up at school, I remember hearing the parents talking about two guys dressed like clowns driving an older style white van and offering kids candy and kidnapping them. I remember going home and my mom telling me I was not allowed to go to my friend's house alone or leave the backyard without one of my brothers. Uh, Considering we're talking about 1991, I had never had a chaperone before, so this was all very odd to me that my mother was throwing these new rules at me, and that being said, I could tell she was serious as a heart attack, and I was truly concerned, and so was she.
Now you said it was 81, right?
Yeah, did I said yeah, 1981.
Yeah.
Not 1881.
No, you had said you said 1991.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. 1981. The next day, my mom actually walked me to school. We know how unusual that was for.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was very different. All the teachers were outside waiting for the students, lining them up and doing head counts before we went inside to class, which had never been done before. I could feel the panic from the teachers if a student was not there. After they were After that, we were all ushered into the school and to our classes, and we were told right after the bell, all the doors to the outside were being locked for our safety, and if anyone had to leave early, a parent or family member had to ring the newly installed bell, and someone from the somebody from the office would have to let them in and escort them to the office to sign the student out. Then the stories began to circulate of clowns in their vans, kidnapping children, grabbing them right off school grounds. The story I remember being told was the clowns grabbed one little girl who was leaving school and her body was found The next day, oh, sorry, was found next to a dumpster, and she was found naked with a lollipop shoved down her throat.
Mm,
The clowns were never caught. I have no idea if this story is true or not. I do know how it affected me, and it affects me even to this day. I am scared of clowns. I'm not a fan either. I absolutely hate them. From what I have read, it started in Boston, but the clown panic spread to other states. Thank you for letting me share my childhood trauma with you. Thank you, Deanna, because this was inspiration to us because I did not know. I don't remember and I was in Maine and I don't remember the clown panic of 1981. Do you remember?
remember anything about the clowns? It's so weird. I mean, I lived in so many different places. I just don't remember anything about the clowns. I know people had these really crazy fears of clowns before Pennywise, like we were talking about earlier. Before it, people were terrified of clowns. But as I got older, I thought it was just because John Wayne Gacy, dressed like a clown as well. So I thought maybe that was it. But I don't remember.
Well, and I have it written down because I was thinking about John Wayne Gacy too.
From what I read, they never did actually see, adults never saw any clowns. Kids did. Kids were running screaming from saying clowns were chasing them, but no adults had ever seen them, and none were ever arrested. And it did cause a massive panic about clowns in white vans stealing children after offering them candy. And yet there was never any arrest or
There
any
wasn't even any,
adults. Do
and there
what?
wasn't even any children reported.
No,
This,
I don't recall any children being reported actually taken, but
but
there was a huge panic about it.
well, and it was interesting because I do think John Wayne Gacy, but I don't know that kids would have known that much about John Wayne Gacy. I can see parents being panicked about it, but why was it that it was kids that were all reporting this? And actually in some of the stuff I read, it they became known as the phantom clowns because adults never saw them. And my favorite part was they said, well, the kids were credible because the descriptions were very similar. Well, they're clowns. So people are probably going to describe clowns pretty similar. I mean, that makes
This would be a really good story for me to write because only the children saw them. What if the clowns were aliens and they only showed themselves to the children?
actually, what's funny is one of the theories about why they were never seen was that they were from another dimension. So,
There you go. There's a new story.
yep. But yeah, I did find that slightly amusing because I'm like, well, you're probably going to describe clowns as
They had a red nose, big feet,
white face,
and they're all in a van. And then, you know how it was back then. The police would be like, "Was it white?" Yes, it was white.
Well, and interestingly, I did see, so actually, one of the, I think one of the most fascinating things about this clown story is you are essentially watching an urban legend happen in real time and happen without the internet. I mean, this was just going through, but by the time this was done, it did start in Massachusetts. So, Deanna, we can use your name, was in the right in the beginning stages. And this is crazy. I mean, the fact that they were having like all that attention, I mean, hey, first we heard the Johnny Gosh and we heard the Adam Walsh where they're not taking very seriously. And then here we have them taking this clown thing was taken very
Yeah, it was just mass hysteria, and it spread from state to state.
well. And I looked and I have here what states it actually made it to. So it started in Massachusetts and it made it to Kansas City, Omaha, Denver, Pittsburgh, and Providence all had reports. that
Now, see, if you think about it like a pandemic or an epidemic, hate to even remind anybody of that, but if you look at it like a germ, obviously there's a connection from one place to another. And then it got spread from one person to another that went into another community, another city. Then that started, that maybe a kid told another kid, this happened to me and I'm really scared. And then that kid imagined seeing something similar. Or clowns back then were really popular. Parents were always hiring clowns for birthday parties. And of course, they had a van because they needed to bring all their stuff to the birthday parties. So then you got a kid that heard a story, and then he sees, this clown getting out of a van in front of a house, and he runs screaming. And if the clown's walking his direction, he's chasing me.
right, right. Well, and it is interesting because that is actually a really valid point because at some point the vans went from white or black to suddenly kids were describing them as yellow vans, which seems more reasonable that would be somebody who's
Party.
working as a clown and
Yeah.
so it is interesting if that was something, but it's so fascinating to me, and you're 100% right. You could probably follow a through line of a cousin went to Providence to stay with a family, told the story, then it went to you could probably find a whole through line of kids telling each other. But I do wonder, do you think the parents did too? Because it still stayed with the kids. It's sort of like the whole like Slender Man phenomenon now. It's really the kids who were following the creepy pastas and
Yeah, and it's 5 degrees of separation, and then you've got kids telling the stories to other kids, and then they see a clown, and then they're freaking out because, I mean, think about it. When you were a kid, the floor is lava. I must have just about broke my neck with my brother climbing on the back of couches and stuff because the floor was lava. You
right,
go into a panic when you are even pretending on purpose or you think you saw something. Like if you've ever been downstairs in a basement and you have to turn the light off, you will run up those stairs so fast. Or you go to put out the trash at night and you run back to the house because you know you're being chased, probably by a clown. That's how kids are. And then they tell someone else about it, and then they tell someone else. So they just kept it going.
and they probably I mean you got to exaggerate. It's got to be a good story. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were chasing you.
well
And what about Ronald McDonald?
well, actually, in one of the things that I was looking at, they showed the original Ronald McDonald, and man, if you have not, I feel
Yeah,
like I should find the picture for the show notes so you guys can click on it because the original Ronald McDonald was terrifying.
I need to add it in here. I'll try to find it and add it here. He was scary.
He was so scary. But that is you're bringing up a good thing. Why did it go to clowns? I mean, we already know clowns are creepy. Clowns are definitely uncanny in the uncanny valley where they should look normal, they should look human, they kind of look human, but they don't look human. You can't read their emotions always, or they have a permanent emotion. I mean, they're terrifying. But my first thought was, well, okay, Stephen King wrote it, so maybe that was in the zeitgeist of that time period. But then it turns out that Stephen King wrote it in 1986 or so.
Yeah, that was past the.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking I need to double check that because was that actually I think the It movie that made for TV one with Tim Curry, I think that was in the early 90s. I think that was in
I
there.
don't remember.
Um,
I'm not a Stephen King movie fan. I'm a book fan, so I don't know about the movies. I don't like the movies.
well, I loved Tim
I
Curry.
love Tim Curry. Yeah, he's great.
But
But
yeah, so I had to watch it. But also it was a made for TV miniseries, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Um, but and you're right, little off topic. Stephen King doesn't translate to movies that well because his horror is too big, in my opinion. It's too big to show. You can't give it justice. Like it's better to be your imagination and let it be. Versus
That's
when they
yeah.
show it to you, you're like, wait, that wasn't what I was picturing, or whatever, just because you can't.
The thing with Stephen King is he leaves what I call residual creep under your bed. Now, if you see what's under your bed, it's not scary. He leaves the crumbs of creep. So you're constantly looking under your bed, even though you just checked it. You're checking your closet because you're still not sure. If you know what the scary thing looks like, obviously it's not there. So the movie ruins all the creep. It's no good anymore. Like Dreamcatcher. I had such a hard time reading that book. I mean, it took me probably 3 weeks because it was just the whole concept of it pained me. I had a hard time reading that. I can't stand reading stuff where someone with a mental handicap is being treated badly. I really hate that. So I had a hard time with that book. And then I saw the trailer come out about, I went to the movies and they were showing, and as soon as I heard music and I saw this Dreamcatcher on the trailer, I was like, oh no. And I knew I was going to have to watch it because
Mhm.
there's alien. But as soon as I watched it, it was like within the first 5 minutes they showed the alien. I'm like, well, this is stupid. This is stupid. I should just get up and leave. You've just ruined the whole movie. This is just dumb. So, yeah, I hate it when they try to put his books into a movie.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, the only one I would argue, there's actually two, I maybe three. I would say Pet Cemetery was effective, but Pet Cemetery is about it's not a big monster or an unusual monster. It is the person you just buried coming back. So you can kind of make them scary. The other one was Misery, because again, that's a person torturing, and Dolores Claiborne, which was more of an unusual Stephen King anyway, but and both of those had Kathy Bates in them, so obviously she could pull it off. But and she
Well,
had
Misery was good.
yeah, and Kathy Bates was in that. So she was in Dolores Claiborne, and she is also the only one in a Stephen King movie that I can she did a believable, not over the top, not insane Maine accent. Usually Maine accents are so ridiculous. I'm like, nobody talks like that in Maine. But anyway, that's my own little high horse, and Stephen King is our national or our state treasure. So
He's the best. Now, my favorite. What is your absolute favorite book of Stephen King?
um it But I would probably actually, I really liked reading Misery, but I think that that was just that psychological, like,
Well, plus you being a writer.
yeah, and maybe that was it. Yeah. As far as the movies, I think Pet Cemetery was a huge phenomenon because it was filmed in Maine and it was released when we were in college. So they had showings all night because some of our university was actually in the movie. So it
Oh,
became
that's cool.
Yeah, so it became like a big thing on campus to go see Pet Cemetery because you knew everything you were seeing, and so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed reading Misery, and I honestly, I'll tell you what, I'm on the fence about it because I love the beginning of it, and then I don't know.
November 22nd, 1963. That is the best Stephen King book ever because I'm obsessed with time travel and where they go back with
Mhm.
JFK to prevent it. Oh my God. I love that one so much. That's my favorite. I've read that one so many times. And then Tommy Knockers and The Stand. Those are like ultimate
Yeah,
for me.
I read
I'm one of these weird people that has read The Stand like 5 times. And if you know how big that book is,
I actually remember Trina, my friend Trina, reading both The Stand and Tommy Knockers one summer, but
well, I love stuff about the whole idea of aliens. I love time travel, and then The Stand. I mean, that's just literally epic. There's nothing. But you know that one with the JFK one, there was a mini series about it, and it was actually really good. They did change a few things that was weird, like there's a young man that tries to stop him from killing the that boy's dad,
Mhm.
and he ends up in the TV series. He ends up going with him to the whole JFK thing, and I'm like, why does he have a tag along? I guess they needed that for like the back and forth narration or
Oh,
something in the
maybe.
show, but that was weird. But I loved that.
I have to read that. Like I read Salem's Lot a long time ago. Um I read Pet Cemetery a long time ago.
You haven't read the JFK one?
No, I need to read.
Oh my God. It will suck you in so fast. And I will tell you all I'm going to say about the last chapter is, it's just like, it's so bittersweet. It's like the saddest, sweetest thing ever. And it's just like, man.
I definitely
But
have.
the time travel, oh, I don't know how many days or nights I have just daydreamed about getting to do what he did. And it was just like, oh, God.
Well, tying it back in, maybe the clowns were time traveling.
They could have just been stepping in and out of a portal, just like in the JFK. The Yeah, yeah, you
All this
really.
straight back together, and maybe Stephen King knew about it, and rather than tell that, he just did it. He
Well,
became a
it was in the you
sewer.
know the sewer.
Yeah, I mean, and it is interesting how many years between 1981 and 2016. That's math. Somebody give us the numbers. I don't do
We
math.
don't do math. Now I have a vivid memory of that, but for some reason I thought it was in the 20s, not the teens. I don't know why I was thinking it was like around the COVID times. I do remember me and the kiddo, because I think he was 10. We were thinking about doing that because it was massive in my area, Greenville, Spartanburg. I think that might have been where it actually got started, if I'm not mistaken.
What book? I'm sorry, I got lost.
No, no, I'm talking about real life. The clowns of 2016,
Oh, oh, oh,
the
oh. Well,
clown epidemic of 2016. I'm pretty sure it started right here.
I was trying to figure out the math because I don't know why I'm trying to figure out the math because I can't remember how many years it took for it to return. Remember, it came.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
No,
See, that was the weird connection. That came back in 2016, and it was before that came out, the clowns started showing up. So people thought it was to advertise for this new movie. And they were like, that is not us. That has nothing to do with us. We are not using clown, because it was scaring people. But in the South, they will shoot you. These and parents were seeing the clowns coming out of the woods, and
yes,
what they were doing is they were just standing, lurking, staring, watching. They would just appear at the corner of people's yards and shit. And it was like, what's going on with the clowns?
right. I'm
But
sitting.
around here, people will shoot you. So we decided not to.
I'm like sitting in front of dark windows and I'm like, okay, I'm a little creeped out by the clowns. I will openly admit, I actually don't think it's specifically for me a clown. It's the idea of a face in a window at night. That terrifies me. Like, and now my dog's down here
And
growling.
you're sitting in front of a window with no curtains.
No, I have shades, but I don't have them down. And it's actually getting windy out too. So it's getting extra creepy. And now my dog's also growling. So let's just add the whole terrifying. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna send you out to a clown.
I've
Um,
never been afraid of clowns. I don't. They've never bothered me. In fact, there for a while, when I was a kid, I thought about wanting to be a clown.
really?
Yeah, I like the idea of getting to be somebody else to make people laugh. I thought that would be fun because I was really shy. So I thought if I painted my face, I wouldn't be so shy.
I think they're just gonna scream like I would. I'm not gonna laugh. I'm gonna scream and run away.
Well,
I'm not.
now I'm just a demon, and that seems to make people entertained as well. So I don't have to wear a bright red nose.
Okay, it would not be an episode before I have to go wrangle my dog and put him on my lap. So just a sec.
Okay.
He's back under the desk.
Kathy left us alone again because she's afraid of clowns. Watch out, Kathy. They're looking in Kathy's window at her, and she's afraid of clowns. I've scared Kathy. I scared Kathy. She's afraid of clowns. Are you guys afraid of clowns? I'm
Are
not
you
afraid of clowns.
you
Oh,
scare me? You can scare me, but are you gonna scare this little face?
hi, Remy. He's just like, don't waste my time. I'm not interested
You're
in you.
getting the side eye. Yeah, actually, it's perfect night for our clown story because it's getting windy and it's raining here, so we're
Ooh.
getting a storm. But
Clowns wouldn't be out there in the rain because it will mess up their makeup.
that's true.
What
And it,
was what was John Wayne Gacy's kind? Was it Mr. Bobo or something like
no,
that?
it's
Bobo,
Pogo the clown.
Pogo the clown. That's right.
Yeah, and actually, we're contemplating doing a deep since we are talking clowns. Next one would be a deep dive into John Wayne Gacy. If you guys can vote on that if you'd like to hear more.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Um,
We're all into the serial killer stuff.
we are, we are. We need more spooky stories, and certainly clowns are spooky. But since there's really no proof any of this happened, I mean, we're sort of feeding into the. This is actually kind of perfect. This is kind of one of those intertwined stories between Stranger Danger and Satanic Panic because there was some argument that it was some sort of culty clown cult that was trying to take children. But it is,
Clown posse.
I find the most fascinating thing about it that it just traveled. I mean, like that is just proof that like we did not need internet to like get this spread around. It really did spread. And actually, one of my favorite stories, this one was disproven. So, a child said that a clown with red hair jumped out of a van and had an Uzi in one hand and a machete in the other. But he thought really quick and he threw his backpack. And apparently, this really startled the clown and he dropped his Uzi. He did keep his machete, but he dropped his Uzi and jumped back in the van and ran away. But of course, nobody found an Uzi either. And then you admit that maybe he made that up. But I love that he empowered himself. He just had to throw a backpack and he scared him away.
Scared that clown away. What was that band? The Insane Clown Posse.
Mhm.
I wonder where they got that name from.
I don't know, but yeah, so I think this was a really, I mean, we don't have a ton to talk about with this because it was just an urban legend. There was nothing to substantiate it. But I think that's fascinating. I think it's fascinating looking at Stranger Danger and having just done a lot of Satanic Panic that like I also find it fascinating that they were totally willing to believe kids about this, but then they wouldn't believe parents that their kids weren't runaways every time they did say their kid was missing. It's so fascinating to me. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think too with the clowns, it's almost like the creepiest thing in the world, and you'll understand what I mean in a minute, is something that's supposed to be innocent becomes evil. That's why those movies, what was that movie? I think Macaulay Culkin was in it when he was little. I think it was him, The Good Son.
Hmm.
When there's a movie and there's a, well, even Poltergeist, when there's a movie and or the Exorcist, when there's a movie with a child and that child's evil, it breaks your brain because children aren't supposed to be evil. They're supposed to be sweet and innocent, especially when they're little. Or babies, like Rosemary's Baby. You take something like that, and then you take something like a clown that its only purpose is to make you laugh, and then you make it evil. All of a sudden, that's the scariest thing in the world because it represents joy and laughter, and you've made it evil. And then you take John Wayne Gacy, and he took that innocence of a clown to make children happy, and he's killing people.
Right,
So it's
right.
just like, how you can't get much scarier than that.
Well, except for the fact one of the documentaries I watched, and if you guys want to check this out, I just typed in uh the clown craze of 1981 or whatever. Uh, but one of the things that was really interesting, they went into the history of clowns, and of course, old clowns were not actually very funny.
A lot of them are sad.
And a lot of them were sort of like Punch and Judy. They were the puppet clowns, and they just, I mean, the British just stood on the street and watched them beat the crap out of each other. Like,
Yeah, they had those little fists.
and that was like hilarious that they were punching each other. And um but yeah, and also I do think there is a lot of fear, even though they are supposed to make you laugh, that permanent expression, it's insincere. Like that's insincere happiness. That's in, you know what I mean? Like, so that can get to you too. I think that
Well,
like,
there's a lot of urban legends about people that have a permanent smile carved onto their face. I actually wrote a little psychological thriller called The Grinning Man, and it's about an urban legend from Vermont, which I actually made up. But you guys need to read it. It's on my Amazon. It's really
not to mention,
creepy.
we need to see if we can make this become an urban legend. You made it up, but this could become a real shared experience.
Yeah, you guys need to read I maybe I'll do a freebie this coming weekend and let everybody read The Grinning Man and see what they think about it. Because I try to do that with my short stories. I'll give them like a free weekend to download it. So I might do that
That would be awesome.
because it's
I
creepy.
haven't read it yet either because I don't read enough.
You don't read.
I became a when I became a writer, my reading dropped way down. It really, and it's so self-defeating because honestly, you need to read to write. Like it's good
Well,
for you.
you need to input
Hmm.
instead of, I mean, you can't output until you've input a lot.
But yeah, I definitely that would be fun. Um, it is really interesting because you're right. Anything becoming that's supposed to be fun and make you laugh and happy, becoming evil is terrifying. I mean, Poltergeist uses that whole. There is the clown in Poltergeist that they, becomes evil.
Well, look at Chucky. He's a doll. And who doesn't have creepy dolls? I had one and it broke, and the kid made me get rid of it. He hated Clarissa. She was the ugliest, creepiest doll. We went to a yard sale one time, and I mean, she even had ratty looking clothes on. Even her underwear was ratty. She was awful looking. She had no hair. She had like old age blotches on her. And the people there were like, you can have that if you want it for free. They were just trying to give it to me. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, really creepy. Had movable arms and stuff. I got some great photo shoots to her, but the kid was terrified of that doll.
Sure. Well, actually, I'm gonna turn over here, but I have a friend, Elle, who makes dolls, and she sent me these two amazing. So this is
Oh, that is so cool.
when she made this one.
Oh, I love it. I
Also,
love it.
I have a little collection of creepy dolls going on here. Although I love her creepy dolls. They don't creep me out.
You need to start making some more of your voodoo dolls because I know my ladies would love them. They are so awesome. And I still have a bunch of your voodoo pins that I can stick in the dolls.
Ah, yeah, we didn't. I loved talk about a that was such a like therapy to me during COVID to just sit and make those voodoo pins. I think they're super cool,
They are.
um, but yeah, I do need to, and I actually need some sort of making those dolls is very like cathartic when you're tired and just want to veg out um and I have tons of felt. I mean, I got all geared up to make a bunch of them and then life happened. But anyway, that's a whole nother. It's not even the clown.
Life
But
is dog.
the real fear of life. It's not the clowns, it's just life.
This is life. Every day it's more life. What is this?
Why does this keep happening? Why do I wake up every morning and say, why is this happening again?
Why do I wake up every morning and it's the morning?
I'm like in Groundhog Day. I was trying to find out when John Gacy.
I don't know when he got caught. I know he was doing his stuff in the 70s, but I don't know when he got caught.
That is really interesting to see. Because I wonder why. I mean, again, it doesn't make sense to me that it would be kids.
Well, think about it like this. What if it was, like I said, I don't know the exact time, but what if, I mean, you can imagine, like with my grandmother, saw something about John Wayne Gacy on the TV, found out he used to be a clown, got on the phone. Did you see about that clown killer? He was killing young boys. And then, calls so and so in another state. And then they start, how the telephone thing works. And then it exaggerates where clowns are kidnapping children. And then they tell the children, be careful if you see a clown. Some kid sees a clown, he's screaming and running because he thinks it's going to kill him because his mother said her aunt told her. So you can see how it might have played up, but I don't know the time frame of when Gacy.
Well, and I wonder, that's a valid point of like parents talking about the John Wayne Gacy, you know,
Because it was all over the news when they started bringing out the bodies, and then of course they started showing the pictures of him dressed as a clown,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then he became the clown killer, even though he wasn't kidding. I mean, yes, he was kind of kidnapping kids, but he wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't like the Walsh child, that kind of kidnapping. It was still kidnapping, but it was more manipulative kidnapping.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
he was the clown killer.
Although I think people on the phone tend tending not to think little ears are around listening, so maybe that did kids because I know I why we have to find out the year. We'll have that for our episode of John.
Yeah, we'll have that for the next.
But I know that I didn't. You know what? I missed a lot. I don't even remember the Night Stalker, which I would think that one would have been at the age bracket that I would have been intrigued.
I don't remember any of that stuff when I was growing up. I've watched a lot of stuff about the Night Stalker, but I don't remember any of that during my lifetime. I don't have any recollection of any
I
serial
mean,
killer.
I do. The two that I think that, and we can get to these people, although one of them is a colossal case. Well, Richard Ramirez was too, but um, I do think I remember hearing things about Son of Sam, but I think that's because my sister was actually in New York that summer, so that's probably why that stands out to me. And Ted Bundy, I do remember some stuff about Ted Bundy. I have Give me 1 second. Again, I'm hearing weird noises and I'm getting
Kathy's checking the window. She hears weird noises.
and the clowns are getting to me.
The clowns are coming for Kathy. Remy's gone to check for clowns. Look at the chairs. The chair's spinning.
That was super creepy, but it was Remy. You probably
Yeah, I saw Remy jump and kick the
okay, you
chair.
saw him. Okay, I was like, that would have been even better if you couldn't see him jump and it just spun as like
I don't remember any of that stuff, but I think it's because we did travel so much, so we really didn't. The only time we could watch TV is if we stayed at a motel for an extended period of time, and usually we might show up at a motel at 3 in the morning, and then we'll be gone by the next day at 11 a.m. So unless we were staying in one place, and then the times we were so sheltered, we weren't even really allowed to watch the news. So
I just don't think, yeah, my dad was religious about watching the news, so I'm sure it was on, but I think I was just programmed into like, oh gosh, this is dad's, like, because you had to be quiet and stuff, you couldn't, so I was just like, yeah, forget it. I didn't watch the news even in high school, to be honest.
I don't remember any. The only news I remember watching is when Mount St. Helens erupted because I thought it was snowing, and I was like so excited. I ran in the house and I'm like, it's snowing. And my parents were watching TV and they're like, it's May. It's not snowing. And I'm like, no, really, it's snowing. I was in shorts, I'm like barefooted. And I'm like, come and look. Because we were in Idaho and they could tell something was wrong. So they actually got up, which is rare as hell. And they came outside and they were like, there was snow falling from the sky, except it was gray and it was powdery. And that was not normal.
No.
But other than that, my dad just wanted to watch Westerns, which were boring.
My dad always watched westerns.
There was so much quiet time in a Western. It was just silence most of the time.
My dad loved Bonanza, so we watched a lot of Bonanza. And there was the episode where Michael Landon, Little Joe got gangrene, and for whatever reason, it was right around Christmas. And my mom had made gingerbread because of watching Bonanza. I gave all the gingerbread men gangrene
That's so funny.
because I felt, it was Little Joe.
I don't remember watching much of that because I thought that was so boring. But when we would stop at a motel like late in the evening, especially on the weekends, I think it was, there was usually a Western on that was like 2 hours, like a Sunday afternoon. So boring. You just see a horse and dust and noise from the wind blowing the tumbleweeds. And every once in a while, somebody would say something. And it's like,
And they'd have a gunfight, and that would
yeah, I was like, this is so boring, so dumb. I don't like this.
my dad loved westerns too. So I've seen all of the Bonanzas, I've seen all of the Big Valleys, I've seen all of Gunsmoke. Oh my gosh, my dad loved
We
Gunsmoke.
watched Little House on the Prairie.
I loved Little House on the Prairie too.
Now, did your dad like to read the westerns? My dad was obsessed with Louis L'Amour,
Yep,
and
yep.
he read every one. He would put his initials in the back of the book, and
That's
he even when he got to where he wasn't able to leave the house to go to the library, the town had a library, a mobile library, and they would come see my dad, and they knew what he liked, so they would let him come out to the van, the bus, and he would get more and more. He read them all. Sometimes he finally got to where when he was in his later years, he would just start rereading some he had read 20 years ago.
actually my dad had, and I don't know, my dad always called him Louis L'Amour, but my dad had the whole collection.
Louis L'Amour, right?
Yeah, I think it is Louis L'Amour.
Yeah, I don't know why I always said Louis. It's Louis L'Amour. He actually gave me one time when I was like an adult. I was in my mid-20s, and he was like, you should read this one. I think you'd like it. Now he did warn me. He's like, now there's a bad part in the beginning, but if you get over that part, it's really good. It was good. It was good. I give him that. It was actually good.
Yeah, well, and I don't know, we got cowboys. They're kind of like clowns, I guess.
Cowboys and clowns.
There's a new story idea for you too. Cowboys and clowns. That could be a time
I
travel.
do like the idea of the clowns actually being, you
Yeah.
know, popping in and out. But I will put the grinning man up next time.
Yeah.
It's not a very long one, but it's got a really creepy illustration that I did of this boy, kind of young man with this very abnormally large permanent smile,
I,
standing outside a woman's window, like on the sidewalk, looking up at her.
I would stroke out. I would stroke out. I can't even. Okay. I am so scared of like a face appearing in the window at night that I don't. Maybe y'all remember this. This is so Gen X. It was the video for Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me. And there was like somebody crouched down looking in like the window. And I remember being like, I know this is supposed to be funny. I know this is supposed to be, and I cannot stand that. That is like wigging me out. Um,
Well, with this, he's actually on like a fairly busy sidewalk, and she lives in an apartment. But when she looks down her window, he's just standing right below the window, just looking up at her, smiling. Just
mm,
always looking up at her, smiling.
mm,
He's just there.
mm. That scares me.
And plus, when his face goes into that smile, it's almost like Jim Carrey. I mean, it is so big. That's what's so creepy is that it gets bigger. It's so abnormally big that it's just wrong. It's
I
so
actually,
wrong.
now that you mention it, I think if Jim Carrey smiled at me, I would stroke out. Like I don't think I could handle like that is
He's so flexible. His face is so rubbery.
so
He
eerie.
is the mask. He is literally.
Yeah. Well, we've been gone off way off the rails,
We
but
will. I'll cut a bunch of this. We
oh,
got some good shorts.
I think we just keep it because honestly, I love Deanna sending the clown thing because that was like I can't remember. We were already sort of talk. I don't know why we were talking. I felt like it tied into like something, and I was like, how cool we could talk about clowns." But I actually, like I said, I didn't realize that there was a clown scare of in the 80s. I missed it completely.
I did too. But I've, like I said, I've never been afraid of clowns. Now, I always was afraid of men with beards. My uncle had a big black beard. My uncle looked like Santa, but with black hair. And he
Hmm.
always had a big full beard. And I think he scared me because he never really said much. I don't recall hardly ever hearing his voice. He was just a big guy, and you couldn't see his face because of all that beard. And he wasn't very expressive. So it just scared me to see people with their face covered up.
Hmm.
But the clowns didn't bother me. And plus, I think it was kind of like in my own mind, that permanent painted smile, that was me. It was kind of like, as a kid, it was kind of like you smiled to pretend like everything was okay because you wanted other people to feel okay. You didn't want them to be sad. If you were upset, you didn't want to show that. Plus, I was kind of raised to not show emotion and not to draw attention to myself. So you just had that permanent smile, everything's fine. So the
Hmm.
clowns to me were normal. It's like, I could just do that and just paint a smile and then everybody would be happy. So it's kind of like, yeah, bittersweet kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. For
Now
sure.
I smile and they're afraid I'm going to bite them.
I don't think afraid is the word.
They want me to bite them.
I was gonna say, I don't think afraid is the word.
I get a lot of offers to bite people.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
people are freaks. Here I am, just a normal little demon
And they're being all freaky, freaky deaky.
getting their freak on.
Well, I don't know, folks. This is sort of our short little interlude week. I feel like this is going to come in pretty short, but that's okay because if you guys want us to do John Wayne Gacy, that's going to be more involved.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, we got the receipts for that one.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of receipts for that one.
And actually, if you guys want to give us an option, since we do these two at a time, you have something else that you'd like to see with Jane. Now it's Jane and Gacy. Uh,
Yeah, give us some ideas in the comments about themes that you might want us to go over
we
and
still
talk
have
about.
plenty we can do in Stranger Danger because obviously John Wayne Gacy kind of crosses over because he didn't necessarily he was a stranger that kind of lured people in with offers of jobs and things. So there's that. So he wasn't like a stranger grabbing you up on the street, but
He was a stranger that would approach you with the facade of a businessman that was going to offer you a job, or would pick up hitchhikers and offer them so-called jobs.
we've been doing a lot of serial killers. We've been doing a lot of, I know the crash was way off, but I just thought that was a really interesting one since it was sort of popular now. I wanted to kind of talk about it. But um, if you have any ideas for creepy ones, I found the clowns super creepy. Vin did not find the clowns creepy. I'm literally been looking at my windows going, no clowns, no clowns. Um, but anyway, give us some ideas for either just weird stuff, whatever. Just throw out anything and we will work with you. So, and GenHex is we're still feeling out ourselves. I just think like our
Or what?
we're not feeling up ourselves, we're feeling out
we're,
ourselves.
we're feeling ourselves up.
No, that is not what I said. We're feeling out what we're doing.
What is she talking about?
You're a pervert. I am trying to
I'm putting that in there.
I
I'm
am
not
trying
cutting that out.
I am trying to make a valid point. We are still figuring out ourselves. And and I think that our niche really is coming at this from a Gen X perspective. So we're kind of open to anything you want to send us because we can put a spin on it to make it Gen X. So, but I would like some more Scoopy.
Some Scooby Doo's.
I want some Scooby Doos. Um, I'd like more spooky stuff, but right now we seem to be in this killer thing.
Killers. The killers.
Oh, wait, before you go, have you seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I have not.
It's a movie. Sounds like it's right up your alley.
You
Killer,
know, I don't watch movies.
even if it's Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I could write a movie. I could make a movie of Killer Clown. Maybe there's a Killer Clown in my outer space movie. You don't know. I don't know.
That's true. And
Uh,
you guys need to check that out too.
my
Yeah.
new sci-fi episodes.
Yeah, we are like Renaissance people. We are just doing, I'm not doing anything but helping the elderly and this. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it and I will be writing. I did plot out a whole new series of mysteries that is a woman having her midlife crisis and she decides to buy a summer camp in Maine and she's going to make it a summer camp for adults. But of course, she bought it sight unseen, so she did not get the camp she was. I mean, she gets there, but anyway, these are my cozy mysteries, and there is a moose in it because every cozy mystery needs animals, so there is a moose that keeps showing up. So anyway, maybe I'll do something with it. Maybe it will just sit there. I don't know.
No, you'll do something with it. And Kathy's working on her short stories. She actually believe that you guys won't believe this. Last time, if you remember, we made 2 videos. After we finished recording, I wasn't feeling well that day. The next day, I find out I've got COVID. Well, luckily, we made 2 weeks worth of videos. So I was telling Kathy, at least I didn't give you COVID. Ha ha ha. And then last week, guess who got COVID? Kathy got COVID.
I,
Somehow I gave her
so
COVID.
to be fair, I don't know if I did have COVID, but it sure as heck felt like when I've had COVID before, I had like a horrible headache, body aches, congestion,
That headache is a telltale sign with those other
and
symptoms.
I
I
had
mean,
no taste, which normally uh I don't ever lose my sense of taste. I always lose my sense of smell, but I never have lost, and I couldn't taste anything for like a week. I was like, I don't know what I'm eating.
that's the word. With me, it was when I swallowed, it was like razor blades down
Yeah,
my
it's
throat. But
mine's
my throat wasn't raw, wasn't swollen, nothing. So that's like, that's like the, oh, that hurts so
I
bad.
yeah, mine started with the sore throat. Then it went into terrible headache. Like you don't even want to move your head on the pillow. You just want to like lay there and body aches and fever. And then the congestion finally hit and I'm still struggling with like all this thick, gross yuck, which you all don't want to know about, but you are gonna know anyway.
Well, that's why Kathy, because she was getting ready to do her short stories for you guys for Facebook, and then because she had a few days off of work and she was excited about getting to do the short stories, and then she gets struck down with the probability of COVID.
That
So
Vin gave me over the phone.
I gave her COVID over Zoom. You're welcome.
Well, on that note, you all kinds of stuff today.
Come again next time.
About clowns that might not have been clowns that have not might not have been there, or they might have been dimensional alien clowns. You've learned about what our favorite Stephen King books are. You've learned a lot of good stuff. So, if you want to keep learning, because we grew up with this phrase, learn knowledge, or that remember that commercial, now I know, and that's half the battle. You don't remember those? He was like a superhero, and he'd be like, now I know, and that's half.
No, I'm over here sitting there thinking the only thing I remember is something about Mutual of Omaha.
Close enough. Close
My
enough.
mother used to
Everybody.
watch
That's hilarious. You're like, no, but
Mutual
I know this.
of
Oh,
Mutual of Omaha.
it's so funny. Although I can totally hear it when you say it, because I remember it too. We don't remember the clowns, but we remember that.
We don't remember clowns, but we remember Mutual of Omaha.
So, if you want to learn more about what we know and don't know and what we want to share with you, then you want to subscribe, like, share, hit the notification button, really push us out because clearly we have so much important stuff to share. This one might be a little more nonsensy than usual, but that's okay. I still feel like you learned a lot, and now you know I'm terrified of clowns. I can't even sit. I've been doing it the whole time, like looking over, like,
Don't be sending Kathy clowns.
I have one more story and then we will wind it up. So I will tell you how scared I am of possible faces in the window. That we had a little window in our kitchen in my house growing up, and my friend Trina, and the little window looked out onto our sun porch. So somebody would have to be already in the house on the sun porch to show up in that little window. So one day I was talking to her at night, and I was facing away from that little window and she was facing in that direction, and she had such a terrified expression from seeing somebody in that window that I literally thought I was going to throw up. Like, I didn't even need to see the person through the window. Just looking at her reaction at seeing somebody was enough to make me like, oh my God, what's going on? It turned out it was my cousin coming in to visit us. But,
It was a person.
it was terrifying. And I didn't even see it. So that's how scared I was. But
So, what does that mean with you? Do you have the fight, flight, or freeze when you're afraid? What happens when danger comes knocking?
oh,
Do you do
I'm,
what?
I'm a freezer,
You're a freezer.
which is not good.
I run at it. I swear. I'm just like, no, let's go. It's
I,
like I gotta find out what it is. I'm not gonna be a victim of anything. I run right at it. I do. Like when aliens come down, I'm running right for the ship. I'll be right there.
I definitely do freeze. I definitely, yeah, yeah. It's not good. Freezing is not good
The
because
only time I freeze is if it's a spider because I don't know where it's going. So I have to take stock of the situation. I'm not going to run because I don't know where it's going to go. So I will freeze until I figure out how to attack. But normally I just attack. That's my.
that's really interesting because I don't have a fear of like I don't spiders don't worry me. Like snakes only worry me if they startle me. Like if you're walking across the lawn and then
Well, yeah. I mean, it's easy to get startled by anything. I mean, I had a toad hopped into the apartment the other night. I thought it was a mouse. It startled me. It didn't frighten me. It wouldn't matter what it was, but it startled me because it just went poop, 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 poop. And I had to chase it through the apartment.
that's so
But I thought it was a mouse. I was like, we don't have mice around here. Why is there a mouse running in my apartment?
yeah. But yeah, I think I would freeze if I saw a clown, and that's not good because I probably be the one person that the clown gets because it didn't get any of the kids.
I'd be running over there and tackling it, be like, "What are you doing? What do you want? What kind of clown are you?
I need you here to fight the
Like,
face.
are you real?" What do
Yeah.
you guys do that's watching us? Do you guys, if there's something frightful, do you freeze? Do you run away, or do you fight? What's your like instinctively, not something you think about, just your natural instinctive reaction? What do you do? That's
I
what
mean, now that I think about it, I think it would vary. I think it, I don't think I run, or I think I would fight if, well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, different situations would call for different things. I mean, if there's a car coming at me, I'm not going to run toward the car. I'm
Right.
going to
But
jump to the
if
side.
it was something attacking my kid or something, I would react different. But if it was
Right.
something running at me, and I also have this theory that I don't like to run at all. That's something I really hate. And so I would only run so far and then I'd be like, just kill me. It's all good. Like I'm only running so far. Uh, then it's done. I don't know. I can't.
Well, but if a person's coming at you and you turn around and you run at them and start screaming and waving your arms, they're going to be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
You're going to mess up their whole thing, and they're going to be so startled, and you just run right past them,
I do wonder if that would work more often than, oh,
running away.
well, I mean, we're way off track today, but that's okay. If somebody was trying to abduct me, I would sit down. I would lay down. I would let them shoot me right there because my fear is definitely being taken to a second location. I would rather die right where I am. Like, you're not gonna torture me, you're not gonna keep me hostage. Like, just shoot me now if that's what we're doing. And actually, Emily and I have discussed this because we watch a lot of creepy true crime, and she's like, I would just choose to be shot where I am. And I'm like, or stabbed or whatever. And I'm like, me too.
Well,
Absolutely.
I used to tell my oldest daughter because she was a pretty heavy kid. I was like, if somebody tries to kidnap you, just lay down. They cannot pick you up and carry you away without making a scene. Start screaming and just fall to the ground. Now my other kid, August, is little. I could put him over my shoulder. I was like, do not lay down. They will just pick you up.
But
Act crazy. Just start making weird animal sounds, waving your arms around, jumping up and down. Act crazy. That will scare people away. Do not lay down.
that's really valid. I'm
I mean,
surprised more people haven't done that.
well, making a scene's the best thing because that's what they don't want, and not just screaming. I mean, act like you're crazy. Act like you're coming at them, and look at them and make crazy faces and weird animal sounds like you're a monkey or something, and they're
Well,
gonna
and
be like,
I always told Emily, like, don't like so where we used to live, we live kind of close, very close to a firehouse. I was like, if somebody was trying to break into the house, you'd be better off to call the fire department and say your house is on fire because they're right down the block and they're going to show up with all the sirens and all, and those people are going to run off. So I always told her, like, if you're home alone and you hear something, call the fire department because it's going to take longer for the police and it's still going to cause the spectacle that will scare them away. So, but
yeah, and screaming doesn't work because a lot of people don't know what the scream is about. They don't understand what. So just act crazy.
yeah,
If you're not a if you're over 100 pounds, fall to the ground. Be dead weight. It's really hard to drag off dead weight without making a scene. If
that
you're little, act crazy.
well, we're going to bring this back full circle though.
Unless you're clown.
Well, I was say, would it acting crazy work if you were trying to be abducted by a clown?
Start yelling at the clown and saying, "You're so stupid. You're not funny. I don't think you're funny. You're the dumbest clown I've ever seen. I hate your nose. You got the stupidest nose. You make Ronald McDonald look like you just insult them, just make fun of them." They'll be like, "Shut up."
Right, but I think making animal noises and stuff that wouldn't they'd be on board with it. I
They
think
might like that.
we'd probably whip out the balloons and start making.
Start singing a song, like start singing "I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts" or something. Just start singing something.
Yeah, I think you're starting to think that it might be harder to scare away a clown, though.
I don't know. I think if you just insult them,
Yeah.
they won't like that. Say mean things to clowns if you want to scare them away. Not funny, happy things, because then they'll just start doing the same thing. And
It's
then
good,
you'll just both be acting like monkeys and nobody will pay attention.
it's good that you don't watch movies because there is a. Have you heard of Art the Clown? No. Well, he's in the series Terrifier, which are pretty gruesome, and he's a very scary clown, very scary. And actually, the girls do. They're in a diner and they insult him, and that does not turn out well for them. So maybe size up how evil your clown looks. If it's just a pretty normal looking clown, you can probably insult it. If it looks like Art the Clown, you guys can look him up. Don't don't insult him. It will go.
Maybe if he's evil, you can just bore him to death by telling him random stupid facts.
Yeah. I just think that in truth, Art, you're just gonna die no matter what. I don't think there's any way to get away from Art the Clown, but
I would fight him. I would fight him.
well,
Does he have a funky nose?
yes.
Pull his nose off.
I don't have a red nose. He has like a kind of almost a pointy.
Punch him in the nose. Obviously, it's a sensitive
Well,
spot.
I'm gonna give it away if you haven't seen Terrifier, but he's not a normal clown. He's sort of supernatural. So you really just have to accept you're gonna die from Art the Clown because there's no way to win. But
Stare off.
well,
Face him and have a stare off.
that's true. That's true. Maybe that would do it.
and then he'll think something's wrong. Because who would do that? Always do the thing they're not expecting.
True. I don't think you can reason with art, but I'm gonna let you do it. All right. Well, on that note,
I'm gonna do it.
on that note, don't get abducted by a clown.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yep. And make sure you get the book, the freebie book, The Grinning Man, right? And then maybe just get a Stephen King book and see which favorite Stephen King book you have. I have to,
Yeah, tell us which one you like the best.
I mean, you can get one of my books, but they're not scary and they do not have clowns. But
She's got spicy books too.
I have spicy books. They do have vampires, werewolves, demons. So,
Go to Amazon, type in Kathy Love Demon, and she's got a set of demon books. Before she even knew me,
yep,
she was talking spicy stuff with demons.
I was.
She says, I'm a perv. I've got her books.
All right, folks, on that note, stay safe and we'll see you next time.
Bye.